What it do, Sports Betting Nation? Aces High here with you. I'm by myself. I'm running solo. No time for hardways. We got too much sports betting action. I get your emails. I get your texts. I know the people want aces, so I'm here for you. We're going to get into as much as we can, but let me tell you, so much opportunity out there. If you are a sports bettor and you rely on it for an income or maybe as a side hustle for income, this is the time where you're putting the pedal to the metal. So much opportunity. Here's where you can find your edges. Make sure you're using something like sportsbettingintel.com to turn that P&L positive. We got MLB. We got college football. Yes, college football is back. Have you been living under a rock? Did you not catch the games this weekend? USC, you didn't see them. You didn't see Notre Dame put a spanking to Navy? That was kind of expected. You didn't see New Mexico State? Oh, man. Oh, Aces lost that one. Let me tell you, Mr. Kill, come on. Do a little better job next time. Do not lose to UMass. Do not let them come to your home and take you down. Those Minutemen, they played some football, let me tell you. I'm happy for them. I'm not happy I lost my bet, but I am happy for them. Not only college football, though. We got the U.S. Open. Yes, men's and women's tennis starting over there at the Open. It's fantastic. So much opportunity. There's so much stuff to talk about. It's going to be hard to get everything in today. We're just going to do a just the odds edition. Let me tell you, I'm going to run through as much as I can, give you guys as many odds as I can, what I'm thinking on the games. Make sure you do your own analysis, though. Make your own picks. We do nothing more than alert you to things, let you know where you might want to be looking, things of that nature on this program. Let's start with the MLB. We're going to start Yankees, Tigers, Mr. Severino on the mound. I know Hardway's not here, but I'll play Hardway's. I'll play his part. Oh, Yankees suck. Don't bet them. Okay, Hardway's. Okay. Well, I'm going to bet them today. Plus 100 is the best line right now on FanDuel, so I'm going to take that plus 100 for the Yankees on FanDuel. I think Severino might get it done. He's not having a great season. 3-8 on the year. Tigers, minus 114. Best line right now on BetRivers if you want to back Mr. Olsen. If you want to fade me, you want to do it on BetRivers right now anyways at minus 114. Not a lot of line movement in that game. White Sox, Orioles, well, we all know the White Sox. You're getting some money if you want to back them. How much? Well, you're getting plus 210 if you go on PointsBet, which is the best line right now for the White Sox. Kopech's on the mound. I mean, at the beginning of the year, you would not expect this Orioles-White Sox game. White Sox plus 210, and that's the best line, I'll remind you. You just would not have expected that. At least I wouldn't have. Maybe you would have. Orioles, a team that Mr. Hardways likes to say is an SBI favorite over here. I don't know about that. I think you need to speak for yourself. I am not a big fan of the Orioles. They haven't having a very good season, let me tell you. 81-49. That's nothing to scoff at. I'm not a big Orioles guy. If you want to bet them, maybe you are a big Orioles guy. You want to check out BetRivers for it. Minus 240 right now is the best line. I would recommend just stay away from this game. Not really a recommendation, just a thought of, hey, minus 240, that's a big number. Even the White Sox, any game, any day the White Sox can win a baseball game. To only get $100 back off of a $240 bet, that's a tough pill to swallow, let me tell you. Let's jump to another game. Let's see, maybe the Astros, Red Sox. Astros best line right now, plus 115 on PointsBet. Red Sox, Chris Sale on the mound. You know, they're the favorite in this one. Minus 130 is the best line on BetRivers right now. Rangers, Mets. Ooh, we got the Astros, then the Rangers. There we go. Rangers, Mets. Rangers best line, minus 135 on DraftKings Sportsbook. You want the Mets. You want to fade the Rangers, plus 118 on FanDuel. You want to take the team that's not going to make the playoffs. You want to bet against the team that is in the playoff hunt. Well, you're taking the Mets there at plus 118 on FanDuel. I'm not sure that I would be touching that game at all today. Brewers, Cubs. Hey, my Cubbies having a good season. Still in the playoff hunt there with the Reds. 69 and 61 record for the Cubbies on the season. Best line today for the game against the Brewers, minus 121. Brewers best line plus 106 on FanDuel. Hey, both teams are going to come at their best because I mentioned they're in the race with the Reds. They're also in the race with the Brewers too. So this game matters. This game matters for the division. Always good to bet on the games that matter because players try to generally play their best in these games. And when you get your players at the best, then you get what is more normal baseball rather than some players maybe dogging it out there, maybe not running to first, maybe not diving in the outfield for that liner that came through. They just play a little bit harder. When you get your best, it's easier to compare the two teams. Rockies, Braves, Mr. Elder on the mound. Braves lost last night. Oh, What an exciting time in college, or not college. I'm thinking college football. That's all my mind's thinking since it's starting up. But what an exciting time in sports betting. We get all these games, and then we get the Braves last night, Sunday Night Baseball. It was a unfortunate outcome. They couldn't pull it off against the Giants, but today they're playing the Rockies, heavy, heavy favorites. The Braves are with Elder on the mound, minus 235 on Bet Rivers. I'm not going to be backing my boys today. Sorry, boys. I'm not laying 235 to get that hundo back in my pocket. I do think they'll win. I don't think they'll lose. But again, any day, any team can win. So laying minus 235 is a tough task. You want to fade me? You don't like those Braves? Maybe you like the Rockies. I don't know. A couple people from Colorado listening to this podcast, I would bet. You want to bet plus 200 on points bet right now. That is the best line for the Rockies. Let's see. Where do we jump in? It'll just jump into the Dodgers. Diamondbacks rounds out the slate. Diamondbacks plus 125. Not that great of a number, actually. They opened plus 114, too. So it opened right around a pick 'em. Diamondbacks, that plus 125 is on points bet. Dodgers, Bobby Miller on the mound, the right-hander, 7-3. Ks per 9 at 8.27. Home runs per 9 at 0.77. Let me tell you, those are some good numbers. That's a good home run to K ratio, respectively 0.77 to 8.27. That's pretty good, let me tell you. Minus 142 on DraftKings is the best line if you want to back Miller. That's where you're going with it. We got a bunch of other sports, though. Let's jump into maybe we'll jump into some tennis. Men's Open, men's U.S. Open, women's U.S. Open, too, for that matter. I actually bet probably evenly across both men's and women's tournaments. We'll jump into the men's first. We'll see if we have time. Maybe head over to the women's, too. Djokovic, Alcaraz, the chalk, no surprise. Djokovic, you're getting a plus 120 number on him to win. Not just win, oh my goodness, not just win a couple matches or a single match. Plus 120 to win the entire tournament. That's all you're getting back in your pocket. You bet that $100, you're getting a lonely 120 back on your futures ticket. It's incredible. That's just, the sports books are telling you how much he is dominating tennis. And Alcaraz, the man that almost beat him in the Cincinnati Open, couldn't quite pull it out. Played very well in the first set. Couldn't pull it out in the second and third set. Djokovic, the wily veteran, coming through to take him down. But Alcaraz in this tournament, plus 190. Medvedev rounding it out at plus 1,100. I believe Medvedev is in Alcaraz's semifinal. I believe they'll meet in the semifinals. Then we got Sinner plus 1,400. Zverev plus 3,500. And then the man I call Tits, Stefanos Tsitsipas, plus 5,000. He's starting off those 5,000s. We got Francis Tiafoe, a man we've talked about in this program a few times. I talk about him in Discord quite often. Taylor Fritz, plus 5,000 also. Those three are your plus 5,000 numbers. I always put a little bit of scratch on Tsitsipas. It's not so much an EV bet. It's not something I think that is great, but over time, I just think that man will win tournaments. I've been doing it for years, probably a little better than break even on it. You're betting plus 5,000 numbers. You're not winning those often, but when you do, it covers your losses. I like Tsitsipas. I think he plays good tennis. His head game needs to get there. He's kind of like a Kyrgios. He's just got the skill. He needs to get his head game right. And he's been doing better at it. Now the question is, can he keep his skill up and use that head game that he's got? Casper Ruud plus 8,000. Another, hey, you want to look for a flyer, Casper Ruud, or Rune for that matter, but Rune is real. Plus 18,000. He's not expected to do well in this tournament. Ruud at plus 8,000, a little bit better of a bet, in my opinion. I think you got a better probability. Again, we're talking about a plus 8,000 number. You're not going to win that all that often, but I just think as far as the probabilities line up, I think Ruud is the better bet between the two. And Ruud and Rune, we talk about them a lot. They played a couple matches, and we usually like to diagnose when they do. Maybe they'll meet up in the tournament. We can do that. Let's jump over to U.S. Women's. Again, we're doing a just the odds edition here of the sports betting brief. Swiatek plus 220. Sabalenka plus 475. Corey Goff plus 700 after coming off that amazing Cincinnati win. Jabeur, maybe somebody to look at, plus 1,800. Not a bad bet, I guess, if you want to go outside those top two. Swiatek, I'm so kind of surprised with that number, too, plus 220. You'd think that'd be lower. Compare that to we got Djokovic at plus 120 to win the men's side. They're very, in my mind, very comparable as to how dominant they've been in their respective parts of the tennis world. I think Sabalenka, though, that's where I'm going to put my bet. My money was on her to win Wimbledon. She did not come through. She came very close, though, lost there in the semifinals. But actually, she might have lost in the quarterfinals, but playing very good tennis. I'm going to take that 475 number. It's a little better than I got at Wimbledon. Plus, she's playing on hard court. I think the power she brings, the power game she plays is really going to suit her well in the U.S. Open, and she usually performs well in the U.S. Open. But if you're looking for more of a flyer type bet on this WTA side of the U.S. Open, maybe look to go with Madison Keys plus 5,000, or maybe even the love of my life, Danielle Collins. Let me tell you, most beautiful woman in tennis, in my opinion. She's a very good tennis player. Love to watch her matches. Plus 5,000, another flyer out there that if you're going to take somebody as a flyer, you could do worse than Danielle Collins, that plus 5,000 number. It's going to be tough, though, someone like her, for her to win the tournament, in my opinion. I think she can go deep. She can go far to the quarters, maybe even the semis, maybe. But then winning those matches, against a Sabalenka or Swiatek in a semifinal or quarterfinal match, even that's a tough task for someone like Madison Keys or Danielle Collins. Somebody like Corey Goff, we know she can get it done. So if you want to go outside that top two, Corey Goff is probably your bet at plus 700. But we can't spend the whole day talking about tennis. We got to get into some college football. I know Hardway's the man. He was talking yesterday about a couple games. He was talking about Utah, Florida. If you guys want to go back and check out our Sunday episode, he went into that game pretty deep. He also talked Minnesota, Nebraska. And he didn't go as hard as I thought he would on PJ Fleck. He's not a big PJ Fleck fan, but he did not go hard on the man. Let me tell you, maybe he's developing a soft spot in his heart for these coaches at his old age. I got some friends from the gym that are going to that Nebraska-Minnesota game. They're driving down to Minnesota actually Wednesday night, I think, to go watch it. They play Thursday. So it's going to be an exciting game. Hardaway's talked about it. We won't jump into that one. Let's maybe jump over to the Big 12. We haven't talked a lot about their games, and we'll go to sportsbettingintel.com. We'll click This Week in College Football. You can get there from the Popular tab, or you can just click on College Football and then go through and find it under there. I'm going to hit up the Big 12 conference here, and you're going to see a lot of things that might throw you off here. What is SBI got stuff off? What are things are not correct? We got UCF under the Big 12, UCF Kent State. Well, let me remind you, Big 12, they got some new party members this year. They're bringing some people to the party. You got UCF in there now. They got Houston in there now. They got BYU in there now. I mean, we got some new blood over there. Going to be interesting to see how those teams perform in the Big 12. None of those games really stick out at me, though. We got UCF minus 37. We got that pick 'em with Houston and San Antonio. Maybe we can jump into that one, dissect it a little bit. I'm going to jump into the game breakdown here. We got new player props stuff up for you guys, too. There's no player props out yet, but this game's on Saturday. My guess is the books will start putting up player props maybe on Wednesday, maybe on Thursday, but around that time, you could check out our new player props, see what kind of props they're giving on Houston versus UTSA. But we're going to check the main lines right now because we do have those and some alternates. Right now, it's showing us UTSA. Best money line bet is over there on DraftKings minus 115. Houston, best bet is over there on Caesars Sportsbook plus 100. Real close game expected here. Spread minus 1.5. Best line over on FanDuel for UTSA. That's at minus 105, getting a little better than that minus 110 number. You want Houston, you're getting plus 1.5. There's a couple books that have it, but our system is showing Caesars as the best line for that at minus 110. Let's jump over here and look at the first half. Big first half guy. I like first halves in college football. You get a lot of stuff that can go on. Houston looks like plus 105 is the best line on them. UTSA minus 125 for that first half line. I don't mind that Houston plus 105. Let me check out the line movement. You could check out all the line movement in our game breakdowns for any line that we have in there. It looks like it opened plus 102, getting a little better money than the open right now at plus 105 for that Houston first half. Yeah, that's something I like. That's something I might be chalking up. Looks like this line is there on DraftKings, so unfortunately, Aces can't bet it. DraftKings does not take my bets unless I want to just bet 20 cents. Then they might let me get it down. Also, DraftKings, I did notice for anyone that wants to bet U.S. Open, they have a 50% live bet profit boost for any U.S. Open bet. I believe any U.S. Open bet. That's a great. If you're going to bet tennis, just wait till the line opens, take your 50% profit boost. Usually, you're going to get it. If you bet, within the first game, you're going to get the same as the opening line. So you should be good, and you'll get your profit boost. I should have mentioned that before when we were talking tennis, but we'll jump back to this Houston UTSA game. Nothing's really striking me as crazy. Looking at first quarters, nothing out of the ordinary here. So maybe that first half bet on Houston, getting that plus money is something that we look at further. Let's go back to This Week in College Football. Maybe head back to that Big 12. Let's see if we got any other games. Texas, minus 35. That's a team in the back in the day, I would bet them at the minus 30. Actually, I bet them minus 40 some before and covered my bet, which is not a bet that Aces makes a lot, but back in the day I did for Texas, and they score. Let me tell you, especially back in the day with Mr. Vince Young when they were playing a nobody. They got Rice now, as I mentioned. Houston, we just went into. Baylor, Texas State. Baylor minus 27.5. Not much of a game expected there. Wyoming, Texas Tech. Wyoming plus 460 on the money line. It's not a horrible bet, I guess. If you're looking to just take a dog, maybe Wyoming. Take them. I don't know much about Texas Tech this year. We did our college football rundown preview episode of the Big 12. You can go and listen to that over there on the college football rundown if you want. But Texas Tech was a team I mentioned that I don't know a whole lot about them. I think they might be good. We're looking at this week in college football tab. It's colored green for good and red for bad. Texas Tech is all green. So, you got to like that. Penn State, West Virginia, that's going to be an interesting game. I think Penn State's going to be they're going to be a very good football team this year. I think they're going to be someone that's talked about for winning the national championship. Let's jump into detailed matchup here. A little different than our game breakdown. This is going to show us all the team stats and compare them. Let's see. Yeah, Penn State, all green. Looks like passing attempts. West Virginia takes them in that category. But other than that, we're talking offensive total yards, passing touchdown, rush yards, rush attempts, rush touchdowns. Penn State, fourth down efficiency, interceptions, turnovers. Penn State's just taking the pie. It's all green if you guys are checking out this screen. Got advanced statistics. I like to look at line yards. We're at 2.96 for Penn State. Actually, a little bit better on the West Virginia side. Let's jump over to see what that defense versus offense is. Yeah, the 3.09, so a little bit better offense versus offense. Defense versus defense, Penn State 2.73 for defensive line yards, which is much better than that West Virginia 3.06. So Penn State brings the defense. We're talking about a Big Ten football team. Jump down to the line data on this. We have the line data on this page also, just to make it easy for you guys. Looks like the best line right now for West Virginia is over there. If you want money line, plus 900 on Caesar Sportsbook. You want Penn State minus 1250. I don't know who throws that 1250 down there, but there are people that do it. That's just not my style. It's a real good number to the market, actually, because if you're looking at it, we're at plus 1250 on Bet Rivers is the best line for Penn State. You're at minus 1450. You're at minus 1600, minus 1600, minus 1750. So it's a good number to the market. It's just not a bet that I like to make. If we're looking at totals, we're looking at market consensus about 50, 50 and a half. Looks like Bet Rivers, if you want that 50 number on the over, minus 112, you want to do over there on Bet Rivers. You want the under, you can get under 50 and a half for minus 110. So we got with the hook at minus 110, without the hook, minus 112. Pretty close to a normal standard juice betting market, and you're also losing the hook. So make sure you're always betting the right sports book for what you're trying to accomplish. Always give yourself the best chance to win by betting the best line at the best sports book. That's what we're here for at sportsbettingintel.com. We're here to help you make those decisions with the data we provide to you. Just makes it easier, makes it faster. You don't have to be on 6 different sports books all at the same time. You can just check out our page. We got it all consolidated here for you. Nice and color coded, so jumps right to what your eyes want to see. I think that's going to cover it up. I mean, we're at 20 minutes. It's just so hard to get everything in. There's just, like I mentioned before, that if you're a sports bettor and you rely on sports betting income, or you rely on it as a side hustle to help out with your income, this is the time of year when you have a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of games out there you can bet on. You have a lot better chances of finding some plus EV. I know people like to look at it that way. I should have probably jumped into plus EV, actually, although I don't trust that system. I saw it today on the sportsbettingintel.com on the plus EV system. I've talked to these guys, see what's going on. They had Utah State plus EV bet. No. It was on the money line. The chances of Utah State winning, minuscule. So let me tell you, Sports Betting Intel, I know you guys pay me, but let me tell you that plus EV system might be broken because Utah State is not a plus EV bet against my Iowa Hawkeyes. They're going to crush you. Sorry, I'm getting excited. It's college football season. You got to understand, this is what we live for. Going long, I'll cut it off. Remember, you don't always have to bet, but when you do, wager wisely. Aces out.